Well, time for another update. Today is Thursday, October 13th. October 13th. Check out the trailer. 3 axles, like real close together. So I've been in Alberta 10 days. Because that picture I took, that selfie I took near the Welcome to Alberta sign, that happened on Monday, October 3rd. So I remember. So 10 days I've been here. And today is kind of like bad news, good news kind of day. So the main bank, right? I fired the first bank mortgage broker because they just couldn't stop, they just couldn't help themselves, like asking like a million freaking questions, what is this? What is this deposit? What is this? What, like, I got, so tired of this, and I could see that there's no end and they're not going to approve me. I said, that's it. I'm no longer interested in working with your bank. And I wanted to go to this mortgage broker, the independent one that the realtor recommended. But I remember she was very unhappy. I'm guessing she's too busy. Like, of course, now I understand. I had no idea that she was so far, that she's in the south of the city, right? I said, hey, I have a USB stick. Can you come to stop by my hotel and pick it up? Like, to me, it seemed like a normal request from a customer because she's on commission. She's making money, right? If I was in real estate and the guy says, hey, Sergei, can you pick me up? My car is broken and I want to see these 2-3 office spaces you told me about. If you could take me around, because that's what I did in Russia, right? In Russia, when I was doing office space, I would hop into my Lada, brand new, $6,000 US, and I would go to this Balchuk-Kempinski or Radisson Slavianskaya hotel, and I will pick up my expat customer, and somehow to me it didn't seem like something wrong because I was making 10-20 grand US from each property. So I would pick you up. I would drive you wherever you want to go. You want me to be your driver, I'll drive you around. But this lady, she was like very unwilling to cooperate. Like, nobody told me that she's in the south, right? I thought she was somewhere close here. But anyway, so I decided not to bother her again because I'm guessing she was just too busy. And so I have major history with 3 banks in Canada. Like, we have 5 or 6 big banks, and like I mentioned this before, every town has a branch of that bank. So which is very different from US, where if you're not lucky, your bank will not have any branches like within 100 miles of your location, right? So here in any city, like 100,000 people, you will have branches of all these major 5 or 6 banks. Like, we have TD Bank, RBC, which is Royal Bank, Scotia Bank, Bank of Montreal, and there's a couple of smaller ones. And CIBC, and I forgot, there's a couple of small ones but that nobody uses. And so I've had history in 3 banks, right? So I tried one, my main one, that I use for all my business expenses, all my income from trucking, and these people turn out to be like really unpleasant, to work with. And so I switched to the second bank, and I went to their website. I punch in mortgage. It says, would you like to speak to a mortgage advisor? So please enter your location. So I put in Calgary, Alberta, and there's like 10 people. So there's email address. So I emailed 2 from one bank and I emailed 2 from the other bank. So I approached, again, for some reason I decided to go with a bank, not with a mortgage broker, even though it might not be a good idea because now all these people are doing inquiries into my credit file, right? And so let's call them bank number 2 and bank number 3. So bank number 2, a lady calls me back within like 20 minutes, sets me up with a secure email via the server, and tells me what documents she needs, and she's like very professional and lots of experience. She's been in this mortgage business for like 30 years, and she even was, which is very important, she at one time she said she was an underwriter, like a mortgage underwriter. That's the person who decides whether you live or die, so to speak. Well, the underwriter is the decision maker on your mortgage application. So she knows much more than a regular mortgage broker. So this bank number 2. And so I start sending her everything. She didn't ask as many questions as bank number 1, which I said bye-bye to. And then 20 minutes later, bank number 3, the guy from bank number 3 calls me, and we do the same thing, but this guy, he emails me via regular email, but it's like through their secure server. Anyway, so I was able to just answer him from my regular email account, and it was a secure email. And so I sent him the same documents I sent to the lady from bank number 2, and that's it. The guy disappeared. But bank number 2, this experienced lady, she calls me, she emails me, and then in the morning, and then yesterday I heard from East Side Dodge that my rubber seal for the window came in, and I called the service right away. I said, guys, I'm going to pick up this seal tomorrow, which is today, and would it be possible for you to install it? And they said 9 o'clock, okay? I said sure. So I drove there in the morning. I pick up that seal and put it on the dashboard, gave him my car, and then just took an Uber, because again, they had a vehicle there that, like a mini bus or something that can, again, it took like an hour, and I gave up, called Uber, and went to the bank because the lady from bank number 2 wanted my statements. And I tried to do it online. You can just do a print as PDF, right? But for some reason it kept cutting off the right field. No matter what I did, the right part of the page was cut off and didn't show all the numbers. Let's say if it says $10,000, it only showed, instead of 4 zeros, it would show 3, And I tried everything. I tried to decrease the font size. I tried to decrease margins, change the font. Nothing worked. And so this lady says, well, if you can maybe go to the bank and ask them to print these out on their printer, it should work okay. And then you just scan it with your phone and email it to me. And so that's what I was doing. I took an Uber, and I'm driving, and my phone rings, and it's this lady from bank number 2. And she says, Sergei, I have good news. But there's something in her voice, that doesn't sound like exactly good news. I said, well, I'm in an Uber going to the bank. You asked me to give you the statements. And she said, well, maybe now you don't need to. Just, okay, call me when you arrive at the bank. And so the Uber guy drops me off at the bank, and I call her, and she says, all right, here's the deal. We have a conditional approval, but, and like, I knew it, but they want 25% down. Like, the apartment is $179,000, right? It's not exactly $10,000, right? So 20% was already, too much for my taste. But 25, I said, okay, just, I'm talking to you on the phone. Just give me where my calculator, of course, is. I said, tell me again the exact number. So how much money you need me to pay you on top of the $7,000 I already put down as a deposit with the realtor? And it came to something like $40,000. And I said, Canadian, of course. And I said, well, I can tell you right away, it's not going to work. Because if I give you this money, then I'll have to stand on the street with a hat and ask people for money to buy my big screen TV. And she says, okay, I'll go talk to them, see if they will reconsider giving you, mortgage at 20%. Now, 25, that's only like when you buy something in the States. If you're Canadian and you buy something in the States, and if it's an investment property where you don't intend to live in, then they ask for 25. But if it's your principal residence, even in US, for a Canadian, it's 20%. But I'm guessing because of my income, up and down, right? So that's what they don't like. They don't like that you're totally unpredictable income, right? So if I was like an employee of some company where there was, let's say $3,000 every month, but that's not the situation here. And so then I was thinking about this, and I sent an email. Okay, tell them I'll give you $3,000 on top of the 20% total, with 7 already paid. I said I will give you extra $3,000 because you have to give in a little, right? And so about an hour later, she calls me. She says, I have good news. I said, do I hear the but again somewhere? And she says, no, but there's a couple of small buts, but they should not be a problem. And so she says, the first one is you extended, your realtor extended the closing date. And they sent me like a one-page document called addendum, or basically, instead of 21st, the moving in date now is 28th, because I had issues with the bank number one, right? And she says, on that addendum, there's no signature from the seller. And she says, I need that form signed by the seller. I said, okay, that's easy. I'm pretty sure my realtor has it. And she says, we need to protect ourselves in case of an audit. So could you please send us invoices and bills of sales for these large amounts of money you got in September for the truck and trailer? I said, done. I have it all on my computer. I'll send it to you in 10 minutes. And she says, cool. She says, that's all I have. So I called the realtor, gave him the good news. And he was, because we already were losing, that's it. I said, you know what? I'm going to be probably moving back to Ontario. I'm going to buy, trade in my car for a pickup truck. I'm going to buy RV trailer or caravan and just start living like that, on campgrounds and national parks, But of course it was a bit crazy, but it would be probably interesting, except that I never did it before. I don't know all these rules. I watched a couple of videos, but I was already, getting, into this groove that, I'm not gonna live here. And I was thinking, I don't like cops in here. Like one bad thing about Calgary is that cops here are very strict about speed limits, right? So I thought they were joking that you can get a ticket for 20 kilometers over the speed limit. But they said, 20 over, you'll get a ticket. So they said the safe one is 10. Like, come on, in Ontario, nobody's looking at you if it's 100 kilometers an hour zone and you're doing 130. Most of the time they're not gonna even bother. But if you're doing like 150 or 140, then they will stop you. But here, they're like anal about this, And so I'm researching all these SUVs and trucks, and I was trying different pricing, and I see that the best deal would still be a Ram 1500, but just newer version. Not like I had Classic when I had mine, but now they have this newer version, right? So I think it's like 21 model, right, or 22. And actually, they look pretty cool. Go for about 50 grand, like 47 to 50 grand Canadian. And then a guy left a comment about this Quebec company in Montreal that makes these small caravans or RV trailers. And they look pretty cool, and the pricing was okay, like 30 grand Canadian. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to drive back 3,000 kilometers to Ontario, go to the dealer who sold me, sell the car privately, because I can get much more money like that, and then go to the same dealer who sold me this Charger and before this Challenger. It's called Oakville Chrysler, the best Chrysler dealer in Ontario, as far as I'm concerned. And just get a pickup truck with a hitch, right? And then talk to the factory, because they do sell directly. And that's what I meant by good news, bad news. So I'm already, in my mind, I'm buying the RV, I'm buying the pickup truck. And then my phone rings and this Angie lady says, well, Sergey, I have good news. I'm like, really? I'm already into the RV lifestyle, and she says, yeah, you got approved. You know how they say banks will always give you money when you don't need it? You know, it's kind of like umbrella in a rain. You know, if you're looking for an umbrella and it's raining, it's tough, right? But if it's sunny outside, it's very easy to find an umbrella because nobody wants it. And so banks, they really don't like it when you ask them for money when they see that you need it, right? But here, they see I have money in my account. I got a couple of these big chunk payments. You know, I'm not sitting like on $2. I can make a deposit. And maybe that was the recipe for success with this bank number 2, is that honestly I didn't already care, because I was like 99% sure that I was moving back to Eastern Ontario and then just spending the winter somewhere in the States, either in my car, just go to, well, like Niagara Falls. I was also checking hotel pricing. You know, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada is the cheapest in winter, because they have so many hotels, and of course over there nobody goes in winter. It's, you know, it's too much moisture and it's cold, lots of snow. And so Niagara Falls, Canadian side, great hotels. And I thought I would either do that or I buy the RV, you know. And now she says, you're approved. And so I took an Uber back to Dodge Chrysler, picked up my car, and now it looks so much better with that, you know, new seal under the window on the rear left side. And so the only thing that's left now is they're still waiting for that half axle, and they don't know. They said it's probably in a week it should arrive. And I really wanted to wait for that one, you know. Even if I was moving back to Ontario, I'm afraid to go with this leaking boot on the axle, right? Because it's 3,000 kilometers, you know, it's not exactly around the corner. And so I was thinking that, you know, let's say once my mortgage is declined, my mortgage application, I would just still wait for this half axle, because they offered to replace it under warranty. But so now she says it's probably 20th or probably closer to the end of the month. And I said, hey, now I'm not in a rush because I just got approved for the mortgage. So I'll be here. I'll be living in Calgary. So you just call me when you have it. And she says, okay, cool. And that's with the car, right? And then when I was already parking my car here at the hotel, I got the email, you know, urgent, sensitive, time-sensitive material. So this was the mortgage approval from the broker. I signed it, and I had to put in my lawyer info. And the lawyer was suggested by the realtor, because of course I'm not from here. I don't know any lawyers here. So he gave me the guy's name, and we put it in that. I signed it. I put that into the mortgage approval. I attached my, you know, deposit form, which shows my, you know, account number, checking, you know, number, institution, transit number, all that good stuff, so that they can take money from my account. And sign it, saved it as PDF, send it over, and send a copy to the realtor. And my phone is beeping. I think I have some emails from them. But so now the most difficult part is done. So now Angie, the mortgage broker, will send everything to the lawyer, and the lawyer will set up an escrow account. So the bank will pay the entire price, $179,000, and they're gonna put it into that escrow, and then I'm gonna pay them the rest of the down payment, I'm guessing, to the realtor, or maybe they'll take it from, or maybe the bank will take it from my account. I don't know, whatever they say. But after that, once I take possession, and the lawyer, the same lawyer, is doing a review of condo documents, because everybody says it's very important. And so I'm gonna, he said that he charges like $400 Canadian, to review the documents, make sure that the condo corporation is healthy and they have enough reserves that they're not going to ask for like $10,000 next month to fix windows, you know. And so the lawyer is doing that, and then the lawyer is actually going to deal with the actual closing, right? And then so now it's instead of 21st, it's 28th. And and on the night before, on the day before, I'm gonna meet with a realtor. We're gonna do one last kind of like walk by, check that the apartment is the same as when we saw it, you know, that nothing is missing, you know, nothing is broken, because it was a rental before. And then if everything goes correctly, touch wood, then 28th of October, I'm getting the key and I'm officially moving in. And then of course all those pleasant headaches will begin, you know, my main priority is getting a huge TV, you know, one of those smart TVs where you can watch YouTube and Prime, you know, Amazon Prime and stuff like that, and you know, and of course regular channels. And then I'm gonna get high-speed internet, and of course I need a bed, I need a desk, I need a nice office armchair, and then I need something in front of the TV, like maybe some lazy boy or a small couch or something like that. And so yeah, things are happening. Things are happening today. I was just kidding around when I said it's bad news, good news. But by bad news, I meant that, you know, I was ready to go back and get into this RV lifestyle, right? And then, of course, you know, so that was the bad news for the RV, but it's good news for the apartment, you know. And I wish it had a garage because it's open space. And of course, this is Alberta. In winter, it's gonna snow. So I'm gonna be cleaning that car, you know, every time. I wanted to have an apartment with underground parking, you know, preferably, but it's not in the cards. So that's what I'm gonna be owning. So yeah, finally, seems to be things seem to be moving in the right direction. And so airport is right behind me, so my apartment is somewhere that way, that new area. And you see, like, even here, look how much land is here, you know, because this is like pretty much northeast. Like there's a highway 2 over there, but there's so many empty fields over here. Well, this looks like agricultural, or somebody was mowing grass over here or something, but they're probably gonna sell it for something, because you see it's all industrial, warehouses, big companies. Like there's lots of houses in the distance over there, like residential, but over here it's all industrial, you know. Anyway, so that's the update. Thursday, October 13th. Thanks for watching. Ciao.